Just imagine that you're going to leave Earth, saying goodbye to your friends and family and telling them that you will be back in something a little more than 1 week, 8 days to be precise. And then you find out that you will stay away from home for 8 months, from June 2024 to probably February 2025. This is the story of the last launch of Boeing Starliner. Welcome back on the Space Info podcast. Here we talk about space and everything related to it. If you are passionate about space, astronomy, technology and everything about it, you can join all our social platforms at the Space Info Club or our website at www.spaceinfo.club, where tons of content and a community of experts are there waiting for you. This is the Space Info Club.
It's decided that Butch and Sonny will return with Crew 9 next February, and that Starliner will return uncrewed, and the specifics in the schedule will be discussed momentarily. I want you to know that Boeing has worked very hard with NASA to get the necessary data to make this decision. We want to further understand the root causes and understand the design improvements so that the Boeing Starliner will serve as an important part of our assured crew access to the ISS.
And with these words by NASA Administrator Bill Nelson, we find out that one positive thing in all this fact is that NASA seems to have learned a very important lesson from the disasters of Columbia, particularly Columbia, then Challenger and the early space missions in the 60s and the 70s. While when you have people on board, safety must be the first thing you have to think about. Well, we had some signs also from ULA CEO Tori Bruno in the last months when another glitches, another problem were experienced by not only the capsule Starliner itself, but also for one single time from the launcher by ULA, United Launch Alliance, and what came out from the words, apart from the technical explanation, that I invite you to give a look to the video that I'm putting here above, that we released when the glitch occurred, that safety comes first when you have people on board, and no matter what, you have to grant that safety, which is the most important thing. So after consulting and performing some orbital tests, and also I think simulating the behavior of the spacecraft inside Boeing and NASA labs, scientists from both the team of NASA and Boeing decided that the risk was not worth it, so NASA astronauts Sunita Williams and Butch Wilmore will stay on board. So let's just give a little more detail into this thing, which is the news of a couple of days ago. So NASA decided to return Boeing Starliner spacecraft to Earth without astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sunita Williams aboard to prioritize safety and collect additional testing data during the uncrewed return flight. So what we know that this is the third test flight, and from the words of Bill Nelson, the NASA administrator, we also know that safety is the first, and this is the priority of the agency, and the data that will be collected from the capsule will be unavailable. I remember to you that this is the third test flight, and as I was saying, from the words of Bill Nelson, every test flight is not easy and not safe by definition. It is a test flight. It happens in aviation with airplanes and helicopters and things that fly. And the very same thing happens with the space capsule. So this was a test flight. It was not a routine flight. So the the measures into the game were enhanced, particularly in terms of safety. Since I remember to you that this capsule is not yet certified for crew spaceflight. This is an aspect that we'll see in a few seconds. So basically this has to be a demonstration flight in order for Boeing to demonstrate to the certification agency, which is NASA, that they are capable of conducting a whole flight, launching from Earth, docking to the space station, and then coming back safely on Earth with people on board. So in the end we'll see that probably they have to integrate the delta for the certification of the capsule, or just completely redo at least one new entire flight with people on board, but this is a future problem. So what we are commenting now is the fact that the two people which were on board the capsule, astronauts Wilmore and Williams, who arrived at the ISS in June as part of NASA Boeing crew flight test, will continue their research and testing activity on the ISS until February 2025 probably, and will return to Earth aboard SpaceX Crew 9 Dragon spacecraft. So in the end, at the very beginning of the whole thing, some people thought that probably someone could go to the Russian Soyuz to get back to Earth, but in the end the political weight and the competition weight, while the second one prevailed, and the company Boeing just went to their competitor SpaceX in order to safely get back their two astronauts on Earth with a Crew Dragon capsule. And this capsule will be launched from Earth probably on September 24 with only 2 people on board instead of 4. So also the crew of that capsule and the whole mission has been completely reconfigured to host at the return 2 additional people, but even though probably the capability of transportation of the people of the Crew Dragon is up to 6 people, actually the whole weight, also considering the cargo which had to be placed on board, which also includes, I remember to you, the spacesuits for Wilmore and Williams, which are dedicated to their flight with the Crew Dragon. Will be enough, and probably will exceed the limit for a 6 people crew. So only 2 astronauts will launch with the Crew Dragon capsule from SpaceX, and then at the end of the mission, 4 people, comprehensive of Williams and Wilmore, will come back with the very same capsule on Earth in February 2025. As I was saying, they started with the Boeing capsule. They were launched with that capsule with their specific spacesuits, which are compatible with this specific capsule, but it is not compatible with the SpaceX one. So they will have to ship, if it's the correct word, from Earth to the International Space Station, a compatible suits with both the measures, I'd like to call them as this, the measures of the astronauts, but also compatible with the life support system, especially of the Crew Dragon. So this is part of the cargo which will be delivered to the International Space Station for the 2 Boeing astronauts. So what happened? The decision to return Starliner uncrewed follows the discovery of helium leaks in the past weeks, and issues also with the spacecraft's reaction control thrusters, which are directly connected to the leaks of helium, and on June the 6th. So this prompted NASA and Boeing to conduct extensive data analysis, testing, and also independent reviews. So this was the driver basically of the final decision. Everything under the safety address of the whole thing. So this is basically the main reason why the 2 astronauts will stay on board the station. So NASA's decision to keep the astronauts on the ISS and return Starliner uncrewed is based on the spacecraft's current inability to meet safety and performance standards required for human spaceflight. So if you are not very used to these terms, particularly performance and standards required by something which is flying, I invite you to visit our website that you see here, which is spaceinfo.club, and go give a look to the interview to Tommaso Sgobba, who told talked with us about performance required and how these are part of the drivers of space systems. So this is very interesting. I invite you to do this. So basically, I have to recall to you that also the Boeing Starliner has experienced numerous glitches and problems also in the past. It was also funded by double the budget of SpaceX, but still it is not certified. But this was the third test flight. The first two were uncrewed, and the capsule itself were able to come back on Earth uncrewed. So this second part of the mission of this third flight is not uncommon. It's not the first time it is experienced. So we still don't know the precise details. Maybe we will never know the very precise detail of the landing, not the whole mission profile, but particularly the landing profile of the capsule. Maybe Boeing will test something which is slightly out of the envelope of the capsule to see, to test at maximum performance. Maybe we don't know, but what we know for sure that the capsule will be uncrewed, and the data which will be gathered from the company will be very valuable to for the future missions for sure. So the Starliner is scheduled to return autonomously to Earth in early September, ahead of the Crew 9 mission, which is set to launch no earlier than September 24, ensuring a docking port is available on the ISS. Indeed, this was one of the issues of the whole thing, because the docking ports are limited, so you cannot have more than 3 capsules simultaneously connected to the station. And if you're wondering, well, you cannot have, let's say, a free flying capsule around the station, the space station. Probably you're thinking, okay, we can temporarily disconnect and dock the Starliner and connect, for example, the Crew Dragon, leaving the undocked one freely orbiting around the station with maybe a safety margin. We have talked about the sphere of safety around the station when you are talking about docking procedures, but this is the topic of an old video on our channel, so we won't talk about this now. But having let's say an external body orbiting almost freely around your station is not a desirable condition for the safety of the thing and also of the people on board for sure. And it also you couldn't try further testing in that condition, so it will be dangerous and useless. So this won't be for example for sure a feasible condition. So the spacecraft will be undocked and then will land autonomously and uncrewed on Earth. So NASA and Boeing will continue refining Starliner's system and mission planning to ensure a safe uncrewed return, which will provide critical data for improving the spacecraft for future uncrewed missions. Missions. So for sure, also a lot of people, particularly people also who are experts and professionals of the field, part of also of the space info community, I've talked with them, and a lot of them were telling me that probably they should stop the program, because also as I remember to you, this is not a cost plus margin program, but it is a cost fixed it is a price fixed program. So NASA has granted something like $4.5 billion for the whole program in development, and they won't give you a cent more to Boeing to develop. So every additional cost comprehensive of the cost paid to SpaceX for the transportation of their astronauts will be charged to Boeing directly. So some people are saying, okay, this is just something very huge disasters hole for the finances of the company, Boeing company, but it seems that the executive and the spokespersons of the company are telling to the public that they are determined to finish the program, to complete all the milestones and deliver a completely functioning capsule, completely functioning Starliner for crewed flights in the future. So it seems that the program is going to go on, so the data which will be gathered won't be only for the face of the company, but will be also useful for the engineers which are going to improve the capsule and test again in the future. So under NASA commercial crew program, all spacecraft including Starliner must complete crewed test flight to be certified for regular missions to ISS. So as I was saying at the beginning, it is very likely that at least one additional flight will be required to Boeing to grant them the certification they need to safely and let's say commercially operate the spacecraft. So after Starliner return, NASA will review all mission data to determine any additional actions required for the spacecraft certification to safely transport astronauts in future missions. So maybe they will tell them that they need additional data, so which means not only one but more flights in the future. Maybe the data will be enough for one single flight. We still don't know. They still don't know because they have to analyze the data that which will be gathered at the end of the mission. So we'll have to see and we have to wait. So SpaceX Crew 9 mission will include also the reconfiguration of the Dragon spacecraft to accommodate Wilmore and Williams, with the launch set take place from Space Launch Complex 4E and Cape Canaveral. So as I was saying at the beginning, even though probably the capsule is capable of accommodating up to 6 persons on board, probably the whole cargo which would be associated to this amount of crew won't be able to be fit inside the same capsule. So the whole crew will be composed of 4 people, 2 already on board and 2 which will be launched late September 2024 towards the station. So also this is a sign. Also you will understand that Wilmore and Williams will be also formally included in Expedition 71-72 program. So they will be effectively working as for 6 months as they were formally assigned to a mission, and they will be officially working as part of the 2 expeditions, 3 months plus 3, 71 and 72 mission on the station as regular astronauts. That's their job, that's what they're going to do. There won't be an holiday for them. So they will be working almost as nothing has happened in the last 2 months. So it seems that their new mission starts late September, as nothing has happened. So, but that's life. They're professionals. That's their job. So that's what they're trained for, basically. So in the end, we are also seeing under what I've just said that the ISS remains a crucial platform for scientific research and technology development, supporting NASA's long-term mission to the Moon and Mars as part of the Artemis campaign as the main focus of the agency. So we can also see how they have joined forces with SpaceX to corroborate their common goals and specific company goals towards their future missions. So this is the first time in the modern space era that something like this happens, but probably maybe won't be the last time in the future. But it seems that now priorities like safety of the people on board and the lesson learned from the past have prevailed on the final decision of the agency and the company. So this is for sure a positive thing in the whole balance of decisions. So okay, thumbs up for them now. And if you want, also thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And well, also this is an example of something which is not foreseen at the beginning of the mission, not only technically but also under the human factor point of view, which could happen in the future. And on mission like this, they are quite close to our planet. Maybe in the future this can happen with people which are farther away, orbiting or on a satellite on another planet. So for sure this is the final thoughts of the thing, a sort of morale of the story. But yeah, basically that's the job of the people on board. So they're trained for this. There was a remote possibility of this happening, so they were sort of expecting, but for sure they were prepared, and they are prepared. And this is something that we have also to take into account without considering, without taking the parts of a company or another, but just saying, okay, this can happen also in the future. We have to be prepared and we have to learn as much as possible from this. So now I thank you for staying with me up to this point. Visit our website, you can see it here. I hope to see you inside the Members Club, which is accessible for free to everyone. And thanks for watching. See you next time.